Hello and welcome back to Legendary Lunacy. I am your host, Lord Papa Lunacy. How you doing, baby? I miss you all. What are we doing here tonight? We're doing another creepypasta. What a surprise. Been doing a lot of those lately. If you don't like those, I'm kind of surprised you're still watching the channel so much. That's a lot of what we do, is scary story stuff, and creepypastas are probably the most common of those. Um, ooh, what else? That's all I got for now. Let's get into this. Tonight's show, The Late Show, by R.D. Smithey. R.D. Smithey. They move again tonight. I lay and watch them, seeing as it's all I can do. They slip and slide through the street lamp, window, curtain, shaded light, and I know my eyes have begun to fail. Or perhaps the eyes are fine, and my mind is finally going from the pain and boredom. Dying is a lonely business. The shadows dance me to sleep, and I dream again of Eileen. It starts out well, more relived memories than a dream. I see her bent over the diner counter in a light pink poodle skirt, pointing to a slice of warm pecan pie. And I laugh a little. Sounds like a present day laugh, a harsh, phlegm-filled bark. As the same old thought rolled through my head. What an ass on her. People act like we were all chaste and proper back then, but hormones never change. My domineering thought in those days was the best way to get her, or any girl for that matter, into the backseat of a '57 Chevy. She turns, her curly, carrot-colored hair slipping down her shoulders, and I scream myself awake. I cough up a lung and try to blink away the vision. Her face wasn't young and clean as it should have been, as it had been all those years ago. Instead, it was dark, ruddy, and rotted, as I imagined her to be now 6 feet down and moldering. The door opens and the creak sends a chill down my spine. What I can still feel up my spine. My breath stops, held. Oh, it's only Joan, my home hospice worker, and not dear dead Eileen that steps through. Come on. Everything all right, Mr. Jenkins? She asks. Well, I mumble. God, why did my voice get so damn weak? I'm 79. My legs don't work, and it's quite possible I've shit myself. So it's a resounding no. She chuckles. I always could make the girls laugh. I'll check you, she says. Time for your meds anyways. Whoopee, I replied. Make it a double. Joan does her business of cleaning up my business, jabs a long, thick needle through the thin skin of my arm, and disappears. I close my eyes, but sleep doesn't come. My eyes pry back open, and I catch my breath. The shadows have moved again. I know. Shadows move. I'm old, not crazy. At least not yet. The darkness pools into the center of the ceiling. No light to cast them that way. They stretch and form into humanoid shapes, tall and amorphous, like a thin man in a shroud. Like death, I realize. I wonder if this is it. If so, break out the scythe. I'm too old to fear the Reaper anymore. No scythe comes. Instead, the figure cocks his head to the side, like a confused child that swirls into a ball again. I watch, confused as a child myself, as the shadow splits. I realize the scene is taking form in the silhouette. A flat, straight line of shadow runs across the ceiling. Other shadows rise from it, forming little more than stick figures, but people just the same. More and more lines move out, and I smile. I know what I'm seeing now, what the shadow forms, even if it is just a drug or dying-induced hallucination. There was the ringmaster, top hat and all. He gestured to the right, to a lion in a caricature, a man with a whip made of darkness dancing before it. There was the trapeze, the stick man, or woman, I suppose. Don't ask me the sex of shadows. Flying through the air with the greatest of ease, and cannons, and clowns, and little stick shadow monkeys, and laughter like I hadn't heard in ages. The racking coughs come to remind me that all things, even laughter, require payment. The circus packed up as I wheezed the cloak back, cocking its head again in a different angle, almost one of concern. The coughing wouldn't stop, and the ache in my guts growing steadily worse from the strain as Joan threw open the door, the light from the doorway causing the shadows to dart into the corner of the room. I never used the room light unless absolutely necessary. It hurt my eyes. They pulled me into the sitting position. She pulled me into a sitting position, and the coughing finally subsided. Thank you, I wheezed as she eased me back down onto the bed. That's why I'm here, she said. Now you try and rest. I barely heard her. I was looking at the ceiling, at the shadows encircling her head. She leaned over me. There was no laughter now, no ringmaster. It was replaced with a writhing monstrosity of ink-black tentacles around a gaping mouth filled with jagged shadow teeth. Centered in the mouth was Joan's plain-faced, mousy hair, her head. I wheezed out a no as loud as I could, but it came out nothing more than a whisper. The mouth began to close, and I had no idea if the shadow or whatever it was could hurt her, but if I wouldn't let them if I could stop it. Joan just smiled and said, "You rest now," and turned to leave, undevoured. I concentrated on the shadows as she made her way across the room. They seemed to draw back from her presence, as if in fear. The monster turning to a cowering boy, its arm extended, pointing it as if in accusation. "I don't understand," I whispered. The ball of shadows roiled, a move that made me think of a frustration, and did so until sleep finally took me. I lay waiting for the day to pass, same as all days now, filled with a hot broth and bad TV, but this day also held anticipation. I didn't know if I could see the shadows again, but I hoped, even if they were just a symptom of my old dying mind. Finally, the sunlight crept in its way out of the window, the only muted light left, that of the street lamp outside. I sighed and closed my eyes, waiting for something that I was sure would never come. I dozed off a half hour or so before I opened my eyes again. The shadow ball shimmered on the ceiling. The shimmering seemed to grow more intense as I smiled up at it. When it split, a new scene for a new night. A western this time, with stick-figure saloon girls and dueling cowboys, even a stagecoach robbery. The shadows recoiled as the door opened, spilling a crack of light into the room. Joan entered, syringe in hand. She said something, but I didn't hear. All my faculties were focused on the ceiling. The shadows swirled around her again, careful of the beam of light from the hallway. The monster was back, its mouth a silent roar aimed at Joan. Then the monster became the cloak of death, its silhouette head staring down at her, staring down at me. Two open spots of ceiling for eyes. The image shook and I realized I was moving back and forth as if it was shaking its head. No, a hand reached from the dark mass, skeletal in its thinness, and pointed at Joan. As a syringe, it slid effortlessly into my arm. "Just medicine," she replied. "Just what the doctor ordered." Sure, I said. Watched her leave. As whatever it was coursed through my veins, I took a deep, rattling breath and let it all go. Dying is rough. Being dead, not so bad to be honest. At least not here. I've heard talk of somewhere else, somewhere I'd never want to see. There are lots of things on this side, not just people, but things that have never roamed our world. Alina's here, and the baby we lost so long ago. There are things here that just like giving the dying a few moments of happiness, even if they're taken before their time, like I was. Though it's not easy to communicate with the other side. We can see and hear it all, if we want. As I watched Joan's trembling hand tie the noose, as the shadows on the walls around her cast reflections of horrid, sharp-toothed things, I realized I don't hate her. At least not for the arsenic she pumped into my system. I was old and missed my wife. She probably did me a favor. It's not why the shadows and I drove her to this. See, I wasn't her first, and I wouldn't have been her last. Time is funny here. You can see it if you look hard enough. Even the future, possible ones anyway. And whether Joan had stayed in hospice or, like, in so many futures, went into neonatal care, ugh, it was always the same. See, I wasn't her first. But I'll make damn sure I'm her last. I'm just not seeing some of these things. But I think I'll be fine. If they want me to take it down, I'll take it down. But I had not seen this. I'm not making any money off of this, so yeah. I kind of like the ending. I don't agree with this one right here. Yeah, I thought that was a good story. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any comments, leave them down below. That was The Late Show. Huh. Until next time, sit back, relax, and enjoy the darkness around you. Love you, babies. See you next time.